Hey everybody, Dustin Thompson here again. Another video in our energy system series. Now we're going to talk about renewables. So is not having enough renewables in Delaware impacting energy prices on these recent utility bills? There's been a lot of talk about recent legislation in Delaware that people say are causing high utility bills. However, many of these claims are unclear as to what the recent legislation is, and they don't specifically point to any laws or language. Some are even blaming laws that have nothing to do with utility costs, like comprehensive planning legislation. Now, many believe the real issue is that Delaware just doesn't have enough green energy, and they think that by not having enough green energy in Delaware, while, quote, mandating that utilities switch to green energy, we end up relying on more expensive energy from further away, leading to higher costs for everyone. I think the disconnect here is that the market that utilities use to meet state goals around renewables is separate from the one that they use to buy electricity. So the renewable portfolio standards, which folks are incorrectly calling Senate Bill 33, which was an update to a bill passed in 2007, people are saying that RPS, renewable portfolio standards, is a green energy mandate, and that's what's driving prices. I hope folks will watch our RPS video in this series to get a better understanding of how these policies work, because the RPS markets are not the same as the PJM electricity markets. So just to keep it simple, increasing costs in the RPS markets does not mean that the costs in the PJM electricity market will go up, because these are two different markets. But there is truth, though, to this underlying concern that not having enough energy in the PJM market that utilities use to buy electricity for our homes and businesses will increase costs for the region in multiple ways. That is true. It is also true that moving power from other parts of the PJM grid is inefficient and it's costly. Now, it's not usually from like Ohio to Delaware, unless there's a straight transmission line, because electrons go wherever they're needed first. They're not going to skip over multiple states and come here to Delaware. So it's usually closer to us that we're importing electricity. But it is true that having enough power generated locally is really important. So let's look at why we're not generating enough power locally. And here, three key issues stand out. One, as we've discussed in these videos this time, years of mismanagement by PJM in getting new power onto the grid is a huge issue. Number two, local restrictions and opposition to clean energy projects are having a big impact in our region. And three, the rapid growth of data centers that need a lot of energy. Other factors like inflation, supply chain problems, all that matters too. But the main issue causing our energy shortage is about connecting power and where you're allowing power to be built. To be clear, the shortage of energy in the PJM market is not being driven by any Delaware green energy policies or any state mandates around green energy. Delaware's focus isn't on reducing energy production. Quite to the contrary, it's on increasing energy supplies and ensuring we can have enough power locally for everyone. So that leaves the question, are there any policies here in Delaware that are impacting our grid or energy supply? Yes, there are, but not likely the ones that you think. PJM has not pointed to any Delaware policies that are seriously affecting energy supply or the power grid. However, our choices still play a role. Now, some groups are spreading the idea that our involvement in what's called the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, also known as RGGI, or our state's Renewable Portfolio Standard, also known as our RPS, which some folks are mistakenly calling SB 33, is making energy supply lower and prices higher. That's what folks are claiming. That's not true. In fact, history shows that RPS programs nationwide, 29 states have an RPS, have helped increase energy production, not decrease it. Now, for more on this and why, watch our RPS video. Our participation in the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, RGGI, has actually helped lower cancer-causing pollution by ensuring adequate pollution controls are being installed on dirty coal plants. It's also funded very important programs that have helped many Delaware families, especially those with low incomes. These programs help lower their energy bills. Programs funded by RGGI funds include the Weatherization Assistance Program, the Low Income Heating and Energy Assistance Program, programs for municipalities to help lower their energy costs for local governments, which saves taxpayers, and direct bill assistance for low-income families struggling to pay their electric bills. In 2019, Delaware turned its $270 million from RGGI into $1.3 billion in energy savings for homes and businesses here in Delaware. And that was just 1 year. The biggest challenge that we face is not having enough energy built quickly enough to help solve the situation that we're in right now. And PJM's recent announcement that they're going to push through 50 gas plants, which won't come online for another 3 to 6 years, is not going to help us reduce our energy costs right now. We need to be pushing for energy that can be built quickly, and that's when state action can come into play. Unfortunately, in Delaware, local governments operate under false information, are being supplied with false information from out-of-state interests, and have all but shut down energy development in our state. Now, unfortunately, some local governments are blocking energy development based on information that are largely driven by fossil fuel interests. 2 years ago, Kent County banned utility-scale solar systems, stopping any new large solar projects in the county. More recently, Sussex County blocked a Maryland offshore wind project that could have brought over 1,000 megawatts of power to our grid. That would have helped lower energy costs for everyone in the area, including Delaware, without Delaware paying a dime. In fact, Delaware stood to get over $300 million in grid upgrades and free credits to help meet our RPS goals. That would have lowered energy bills while increasing grid reliability in Delaware without us having to pay for it. These state-level obstacles are preventing us from developing energy in our state. Instead of working to bring in more clean energy, people are actively attacking the very programs that help support it. That is the type of state action that is impacting our grid and energy supply. Hope that was helpful.